Perfect. Yes. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon for the people who are joining, and good morning for the people who are joining from other parts of the world. Thank you so much for taking your time in order to attend this session. I hope by the end of the session, you will understand more about the form extraction, and you'll also can come up with more use cases or more examples in order to use form extraction. So this is a 45 minutes session where I would take you through multiple examples of form extraction and also assist you or explain in detail what form extraction is and how you can get benefit from form extraction. So yeah, before I start the session, quickly to introduce myself, I'm Sangeeta Ramesh. I'm working as transformation manager at Data Snipper. My role is to ensure that you understand the product and to make your experience with the product more exciting and more simpler. I was working as an external auditor before joining Data Snipper. Now I'm bridging the gap between the technology and the finance profession. And I would like to keep the session as interactive as possible. So if you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to post your questions in Q&A section. I'll be more than happy to respond to it. And if you have any concerns in hearing me or following me, please feel free to raise it as a concern in Q&A section, and I'll try to incorporate that as soon as possible. And you will be receiving the recording of the session within 24 hours in an email. So in case if you missed on any step or any procedure, don't hesitate. You can rewatch the recording how many ever times needed and also explore our tool. So it's not more like click along sessions. So you can just sit back and enjoy the show for 45 minutes. Perfect. Yes, so let's understand more about the audience participants. So I'm going to launch a poll uh, to get to know you more. So how familiar are you with using Data Snipper? So please do take a moment to respond. This will really help me out in regard of my pace of today's presentation. Perfect. I'm getting a mixed response. Most of them have used it, curious to learn more. Great. And we also have few of them who have seen it and not used it. Perfect. This is also for the beginners, which is great. Perfect. Thank you for responding. And I would try to go as slow as possible, but considering the amount of examples that I have and that I want to explain in today's training session, in case if I rush a little bit, do let me know with the help of Q&A section, or you can rewatch the recording just to catch up on the missed part. Perfect. So I do have a training materials or an Excel document that I've just prepared just for this session. There might be few use cases that are repetitive for those who are experts, because I did see there is an expert in today's training session. So maybe the expert can help me in addressing the questions in today's session. But yeah, few of examples may be repetitive. I'm sorry, maybe repetitive, but I've also tried to make sure that we have some good examples which are quite new, where you can also implement form extraction. So, and also to briefly introduce you all to Data Snipper, most of them are already aware about it, but also for those who have seen it, haven't used it, and who have never seen it. Data Snipper is an intelligent automation platform within Excel, which means with the help of Data Snipper, you can easily extract the information from your supporting documents, also match your samples to the relevant supporting documents, and with the cross-referencing capabilities, it actually eases your task to a greater extent. Today, the automation feature that we will be covering is form extraction. Form extraction is also one of the automation feature where when there is a similarly structured documents, if you want to extract information from those similarly structured document, you can use form extraction. It saves a lot of time. Saving the template within form extraction also saves a lot of time. Yes, I do see a question which says, where may I get a copy of the Excel document that you will be working through now? Apologies if you have already said. Please don't apologize. That's completely okay. This is not a click along session, so you don't have any training materials that you would, if you would like to click along. So it's not a click along session. So you can just sit back and yeah, enjoy this show just to understand more about the form extraction. Maybe this gives more idea on where else form extraction can be used. And if you want to try it out by yourself, feel free to just pick few of the forms or few of the documents that look similarly structured. And yeah, feel free to use form extraction. But this, yeah, we don't have any specific training materials that are available for you to click along. Perfect. So everything about form extraction, if you have Data Snipper installed, you should see that as an add-in. Once you open your Excel workbook, the Data Snipper is an Excel plugin. And in order to access form extraction, you would see within the document extraction icon, or for few of them within the automation ribbon. I've already imported my documents because in order to use any of the features or functionalities of Data Snipper, you have to first import the documents. So I've already imported it and I've created multiple folders because, yeah, I do have 4 use cases that I would like to show within form extraction today. And I've also made sure that the OCR or the text are recognized within these documents. And you can also verify the status from this organize icon. Perfect. So let's start with the first use case. In order to access form extraction, we have to click on the form extraction icon and start new form extraction. Perfect. Okay. Yes. So first, let's start with payslips, because payslips generated from the same system or from a client looks very similarly structured. I wouldn't say same because the payroll components will differ from employee to employee, but whereas it at least looks similarly structured. So I'm just going to filter for payslips. I've selected all the payslips. Let's say we have around 12 payslips, and we would like to extract information from these payslips for the payroll testing. Let's say we need the first name or the name, the social security number, maybe the gross pay and net pay. And to briefly explain about this layout, all the documents that are imported for the form extraction view are visible within this dropdown. If it's a multiple page document, then you can easily navigate between the pages. You can also zoom in, zoom out, rotate. And if you want to search for any key terms or keywords, you can easily do that from the search panel. And a very important option to note within the form extraction is the frequencies of extractions, because these frequencies depends upon the type of document that you are using and the type of information that you would like to extract from these documents. So there are 3 frequencies that are available. And to start with, I'm going to select extract per document because I have my pay slips in each and every individual document. And also, I would say it looks similarly structured because the payroll components will differ from client to client, or sorry, employee to employee. Perfect. So let's say we need a name. So all we have to do is click on add extraction, just draw a snip on name. So as you see, the similar information is automatically extracted from the remaining payslips, but not all the payslips. Let's further investigate that. But before that, let's also add an extraction for social security number. Perfect. And maybe another extraction for gross pay and net pay. So for those who are very new to the form extraction, this is where I would like to explain, like this is how form extraction is helpful, because you just performed the extraction or the snip from the first document, whereas the information is automatically extracted from the remaining documents. And this is how the form extraction is helpful. And it is also a requirement to be similarly structured, because in this example of payslips, I have 2 sets of payslips, which looks pretty different. It is generated from the same client. Let's say from January to June, they had ABC system, whereas they changed the system from July to December, which is XYZ. So the payslip structure will look a bit different. But even though it's quite different, the information is still at least extracted and mapped. So now to understand, the extraction 1 and the extraction 2 is not complete, because as you can see, the information is just extracting from the blank space and not where we would expect that to extract. It's also because if you see the payslip structure, these payslips, it has everything in the left hand side, and with the salary statement, the color looks different. But whereas in this this payslip, the color looks different, and the earning statement is in the right hand side. So it's pretty differently structured. And the reason for not fully capture or not for the reason for incomplete data is because if I just hover over my extraction 1, the letter E is highlighted in yellow. And we call that as an anchoring point or a reference key. So what Data Snipper does is when you perform your first extraction, it automatically assigns a word or a string of words as a key. And exactly at certain distance and at certain direction, whatever the information will be the information that is extracted for your preview. So let's say the distance between the word E and the name from the first payslip is 5 meters. So what it does is it will go to the remaining document and it will first find the word E, and exactly at 5 meters, whatever the information will be the information extracted. So for example, in this payslip, if you see, let me hide this, perfect. So if you look at the structure, it will first find the word E, and exactly at 5 meters, whatever the information is the information that is extracted. So the reason here for incomplete data is that the correct key is not defined. So let's go ahead and edit the key, because key is a very important factor, because the extraction will depend upon the key or the anchoring point or the keywords. In order to edit the key, you can just click on the 3 dots and you have an option called edit key. And I'm going to make the word name as a key, assuming the names will be next to the name, the word name. So as soon as I change the key, as you can see, the information extracted is pretty complete now, because the key did not change. Even though the structure of the document or structure of the payslips changed, the key did not change. And similarly, let's change the key for the SSN, because even for social security number, word or letter E has been assigned as a key. So I'm going to change it to SSN. So as soon as I change the key, the information is pretty accurate and complete. And with the cross-referencing capabilities, you can just click on each of the snips and go to the respective source in order to validate the accuracy and completeness of information extracted. And if you want to edit the extraction, you can easily do that by clicking on 3 dots. If you click on edit, if you want to increase the width of the extraction, or even if you want to change the location of the extraction, you can easily do that by clicking on edit option. You also have an option to rename the columns. So by clicking on rename, I'm going to rename this as name so that the column looks more structured. And this is social security number. And this is gross pay. And this is net pay. Perfect. So from the preview of extraction, you can review the accuracy and completeness. And once it's done, then you have an option to export it to Excel. So by just clicking on export to Excel, the information extracted is exported to Excel, and you can easily copy paste this data to your payroll testing work paper and continue with your procedures from there on. So this is one of the example. I'm going to quickly pause for a minute or few seconds just to see if you have any questions or any concerns or anything that you would like to raise or that you would like to flag. Perfect. I do see a question. Hello, can we have access to the recording? Yes, for sure. You will be receiving the recording within 24 hours in an email. So you will have access to that recording and you can rewatch the recording, or you can watch the recording how many more times possible. Or if you want to circulate the recording among your team, you can just copy paste the link that you will receive from an email with your team. And yeah, they can also watch as many times as possible, or as many members can watch. Perfect. Thank you for acknowledging. Any other questions? Perfect. So let's go to our next use case. So the next is, let's say, per page, like pages per document, maybe if we want to extract when everything is in the same document. And I have an interesting example for that. So let's select form extraction, and I'm going to close this because we don't need it. So I'm going to open a new form extraction, start new form extraction, and user access approvals. So we have a user access approval list within the same document. Like this is the user access request form. We do have around 8 user access request form, maybe to test the access, like user access testing as part of ITGC controls, or even as part of internal controls testing. And if we need to extract information from this, as it looks very similarly structured, because if you go to a company, the user access request form, it tend to look very similar because it's generated from a company and it's a structure that they follow. So every time if anyone wants to request for any access, they need to fill that form. So when you're auditing those forms, it's high probable that it looks very similarly structured. And if you look at this document that I've imported, it's a handwritten text, and it is just like a photo, I guess, or a scanned document. It's not even a very system generated or a very clear document. Let's say we would like to extract few information from these forms in order to perform our user access testing. So the frequency that is suitable for this is extract per page, because we have each form in each page within the same document. So I'm going to click on add extraction. Maybe we would need the employee number. And as you can see, this is a handwritten text or handwritten document. And I perform the extraction on the employee number. But in a realistic situation, you might also come across that data snipper notifies you that it is unable to locate a key automatically. Please select one. So you might also come across these situations. So in these instances, you can assign any word or string of words as a key, but please make sure that the key is unique and also present within all the document or all the pages that you would like to extract the information from. And the key no need to be very like a special characters or something very, let's say, very technical or very complex one. No, not required at all. Even the simple word or a simple string of words can also work as a key. So for this employee number, let's try assigning the words employee number as a key. It worked. So as soon as I assign the key, the information is pretty accurately and completely mapped. And even though it's a handwritten document, it is pretty accurately read and mapped. And also one of the reason for this is if you're coming across these kind of documents where it's just a photo or a scan document or even a handwritten document, I would first recommend you to recognize the text or run the OCR and then perform any of the testing or procedures, because it enhances, by recognizing the OCR, it enhances the text quality of the documents. And you can see the difference with OCR and without OCR, especially when you have these kind of documents. Perfect. So let's say we need the approver name. So I'm just going to draw and it is unable to locate it. So I'm going to assign part C authorization as a key, and let's see if it works out. Perfect. It worked out. And there is, if you can see from this example, even the CDO, the job title, is also extracted. In order to avoid these instances, what we can do is let's edit the extraction and reduce the width of the extraction. So it just captures from only from the first line so that it doesn't go to the second line. So by editing that width, it, as you can see, difference in result. Now it's just Sam Peterson has been extracted. Perfect. So let's also add an extraction for approval job title. And let's manually assign the key. Perfect. And there is one which is not extracted, which is range. Let's, okay. Let's try to edit the extraction to increase the width. Perfect. So when you increase the width, it's better, right? It has actually recognized it better. So I'm also going to increase the width the other side as well, not only the one side. So we have pretty accurate complete data. Perfect. So we have it complete. So you have an option to play around the form extraction like features. If it is not in the first time, then try to make some adjustment in the width or the key, then you will get there at least in the second or third time. So you feel free to play around the tool as well. So let's say we need the date, the approval date, draw snip. It didn't work, so I'm going to just assign part C as key. Let's try to edit the key and make sure it's part C. I'm not sure why it's not taking, but let's try to assign. Something wrong with my document. Okay, let's try to edit again. Perfect. I hope it's complete. Perfect. Yeah. So you can just play around, change the key, trial and error. And then once it's complete, as I mentioned before, you have an option to edit the width of the extraction key or even rename the column so that it looks more structured. And if you want to delete any extraction that was not required, you can also delete that. And by just clicking on export to Excel, now you have the details extracted to Excel, and you can just copy paste this to your user access testing or any of your testing work paper and continue with your procedure from there on. So this is one of the example where you have to extract per page within the same document. And maybe, the document looks like this with the handwritten text, with some scratches and everything. You can still extract the information. So I'm going to quickly pause for a minute just to see if you have any questions or anything that you would like to flag or that you would like to discuss. Okay, I don't see any questions at the moment. Hope it's clear. If not, please feel free to post it and I'll be more than happy to respond. And also to quickly touch on the OCR, when you try to import the documents, you should get a notification saying, do you want to recognize the text, yes or no? It's most of the time it's recommended to select yes, so that by recognizing the text or by running the OCR, which is optimal character recognition, it adds a layer of text image for the documents imported, which will in turn enhances the quality of the extraction to make sure it's complete and accurate. If not, then if you click on OCR icon within the documents ribbon, you can actually check or verify the text status of the documents imported. And if it's not recognized, then you can select the documents and click on recognize in order to recognize it. Perfect. So let's go to another example, form extraction. I'm going to close this. Form extraction, start new form extraction, and let's say payroll register. So we have a payroll register and we have to extract certain information from these document. Let's say the employee name, the gross salary, even the file number, date of birth. And this looks pretty different because this is a payroll register. It summarizes all the employee counts and we have around 26 pages. And we have like 2 employee details or 2 or 3 employees details within one page. So in these instances, we can use the frequency which says extract multiple lines per page, because we need two employees' details, right, from the same page. Let's say we need name. So I'm going to click on add extraction and draw a snip on the name. So from this, as you can see, not only the names are extracted, right? Because if you see even the mailing and home address, so something different details are extracted, which is not required. So in order to avoid this, and this is also because if I just hover over my extraction one, I'm not sure if you're all able to see it, but let me, okay, perfect. If I hover over, the word or the letter Y is assigned as a key. So what is happening is every time it looks at letter Y, and subsequently whatever the information is mentioned is the information that is extracted, which is not correct, right? We just need a name. So let's try to edit the key and see how the data will be different. So I'm going to edit the key and make maybe mailing and home address as a key. Home, yeah, that is also okay, because I cannot make the word personal as a key because we have two employees detail within the same page, whereas we don't have the word personal within this employee detail. And that's the reason we have to find that word or string of words through which, like you would expect, even to be present, even if it is multiple lines per page. I do see a question. If you had your first example, but all payslips are included in one document in one PDF, okay, how does the key work? For example, net pay plus gross pay plus deductions for one employee. From the first examples, very good questions, by the way. For the first example, if all the payslips are within the same one document, the key works very similar way. If you want to extract net pay, gross pay deductions, it works very similar way. But all you have to do is to choose the correct frequency of extraction. Then it will be extract per page because you have pay slips in each page. Then it should work perfectly. Like the key, it doesn't have any special treatments or anything that you have to take care in regard to the key, but you have to just make sure to select the frequency of extraction. Okay, I do see the continued question which says, but the payslip went over 3 pages. Yes, that's a good question. If that is the case, then I would say you have to go for multiple lines per page, because there might be instances like, let's say we have 10 payslips and each payslip is maybe 3 pages and some payslips maybe 2 pages. So in those instances, I would say multiple lines per page, and you have to be really smart in picking the keys, because as it's 3-paged, if the key is present in all the 3 page within the same employee payslip, then it might extract the wrong or incorrect data. So if you're smart enough, or if you try to look for a key that is more unique in the respective payslips rather than all the pages, then it should work. But for that, the frequency will be multiple lines per page. Okay, I do see. Yes, this is where I have had much difficulty. Perfect. I understand that's a confidential data, but if you can share it, then I would really appreciate it. I'm going to leave my email ID because I can have a look just to see if I can help you out with any alternative ways. If not, then I can also reach out to my product team to check if there is any alternative way or if they have any plans in coming up in the future versions. So if possible, please feel free to send me the document. And yes, perfect. And I will make sure to take a look at it. But yeah, in those instances, I understand it might be quite challenging because coming up with the key is quite challenging, especially when you have the documents continued for the multiple pages. But let's try to find a way to make sure it actually extracts the complete information. Perfect, but very good questions, by the way. Yes, coming back to this payroll register. So now we have the word key, like the key as home. So as soon as we change the key, the information is pretty complete. And if you just scroll down, and the first column is page number, so you can also verify that easily if two employees' details are noted within the same page. And with cross-referencing capabilities, you can just easily navigate in and around the payroll register. So let's also add gross pay. Perfect. And if we hover over, yeah, it is taking the word home as a key, which is okay. Let's say we need file number and even maybe date of birth. So perfect. So yeah, well, only time we need to change the key was the first time when we changed it to home. But the rest of the time, it automatically picks up the correct key, or at least the same key, and make sure the correct information is captured. So, and now you have the information extracted from payroll register easily, and you can just click on export to Excel, or if you want to rename the columns and everything, you can just feel free to do it by clicking on three dots and rename. And once it's done, you can just export to the Excel. And if you want to reconcile this with your payslip or payslip summary or even the employment contract, you can continue with the procedure from here on. So this is an example for multiple lines per page, and maybe bank statement is also a good example for multiple lines per page. And other examples where you can use data or form extraction, form extraction is tax forms, because it looks very similarly structured, and purchase orders, because if the client is generating, if it's a wholesale or a retail company, and any company like where they have purchase orders generated from the same system, then it looks very similarly structured. So if you want to extract information from purchase order or even revenue invoices, so you can also feel free to extract information from the revenue invoices or any documents that you would think it looks very similarly structured, even though it's not exactly similarly structured, then feel free to try form extraction first. And if it doesn't work as per your expectation, then you can think of using any other features. But I would recommend you to use form extraction first if it's similarly looking document. And now, if you're receiving these kind of documents more often, then you have an option to save this as a template. So by clicking on Save as Template, you can give your template a title and also description, and you can save this as a template. So to briefly explain about the templating within form extraction, there are three types of templates that are available. Feature templates are those templates that are uploaded by Data Snipper, and all the users with Data Snipper should have access to the feature templates. And within form extraction, these feature templates are categorized based on different regions. It's Netherlands, US, and South Africa. But if you are from any other region, and if you think any of the templates is very useful, not only for you, even for the clients from that region, please feel free to contact us and help us to understand more about that template, so we can also upload that as part of our feature templates. And if you're using our feature templates and if it's not working as per your expectation, or if something is messing around, please feel free to raise it as well, because we can also edit this feature templates like from our dashboard and make sure it really add value and benefits for your work that you perform. And if you're using confirmation.com, because if you receive cash confirmations, AR, debt confirmations through confirmation.coms, then we also have few feature templates. Feel free to use it and provide feedback for us. And company templates are those templates that the implementation manager at your company can upload a template, and all the users within your company license can have access to it. And company templates option or a feature by itself is enabled only for those firms who have enterprise package of Data Snipper. So if you're in professional package of Data Snipper, then you might not see the company template feature. But if you're in enterprise package, you should see the company templates feature. And within the dashboard, your implementation manager can upload, and everyone within your company can access it. And my templates are those templates that you save within your system locally. So as I just showed, if you give your template a title and description, then it automatically logs within my templates, and it is in the sequence of the date that it has been prepared. And if you want to be honest and transparent, you cannot, if you don't have enterprise package, you cannot share the template with your colleagues. But if you have enterprise package, if you create a template and if you want to share it with your implementation manager to upload it at the dashboard, then by just right clicking on the template, you have an option called download template. And if you just click on that, it will show you a path where it is being saved, and you can take that template and share it with your implementation manager to upload. And I would also recommend, in case if you're using any of our feature templates and if you think it's not working as expected, then you can download the template and share it with us, so we understand which template that you're talking about, and if we need to make any changes, then we can also make those changes. Perfect. Now coming back to the template. So I have a template that I have logged as a company template for 1040 forms. So let's say we receive these forms more often and we would like to extract this information more often, then I would recommend you to create a template and save it. So whenever you have the forms, you can just select those forms and extract information within few clicks. So all you have to do is just click on the template, select the documents and click on OK. And as you can see, within few clicks, we have the information extracted already. The columns are named and keys are well defined. By just clicking on each of this, you can review the accuracy and completeness of the information extracted. And you can just export it to Excel by clicking on this. So this is the usefulness of the template. And I've also created a transformation sheet, like how to transform your data. So I'm going to make it as 4. So you can also come up with this kind of Excel sheet where with Excel formula, I've just included an Excel formula where it automatically takes the output result or output data from the tab that is, or from the sheet that is generated. And as soon as you have the sheet generated from the form extraction, it automatically pulls in the details that you need. So for instance, in this case, the forms, so I had it already prepared with the Excel formula. So as soon as I changed the sheet name to 4, form extraction 4, because form extraction 4 is where our, the details from the tax forms were imported or exported. So as soon as I have the sheet created, these details will automatically be updated. So feel free to also come up with these kind of formulas within your Excel where, so it's, the formula is embedded. As soon as you get the information extracted, it automatically populates your testing sheet. So yes, these are the form extraction, the templates, the keys and everything, and also some of new use cases, I would say, in my opinion. But yeah, these were the things that I wanted to explain in today's session. And maybe most of them are familiar, but I would also would like to navigate you to two very important sources before I wrap up this session. The first one is knowledge base. So within the learn icon, you have something called go to knowledge base. And if you click on that, it will take you to our web page where you have access or answers for most of your questions. If you're from external audit, if you just click on that, you have list of example use cases where you can use data snipper features. For instance, batch payment testing with data snipper. So if you just click on that, you have a small 2 to 3 minutes video which explains how to perform the batch payment testing. You also have training materials if you want to click along, and step-by-step procedure. And you have other articles as well. And if you're curious to understand what is the upcoming version of Data Snipper looks like, then we also have an article for changelog. We do have a Data Snipper latest version 6.0.5. It is still in internal testing phase or initial testing phase, I would say. But yeah, once it's officially out, then these are the new features that you might expect from that. So yeah, we would like to be as transparent as possible. So feel free to explore our page. And if you have any feedback for our product or any suggestions or any ideas, then within the learn icon, there is something called give feedback. If you click on that, it will take you to our user voice page where you can provide as many suggestions and as many feedbacks as possible. And the good thing is you can also look at the suggestions or ideas or feedbacks that were provided by other clients. So if you think this is more relevant to you, then you can just vote for it and you will be kept on loop for any developments or for any update that happens within that feedback. So yeah, these are the things that I wanted to explain. And yeah, this is the time for questions. So if you have any questions or anything that you would like to discuss, I'll be more than happy to address those. And if you don't have any questions, then I would say thank you so much for attending the session today. I hope you gained some insights about form extraction and also some examples where you can use form extraction. And if you think I rushed a little bit, I'm really sorry about it, but I'll make sure that you will receive the recording within 24 hours and an email, so you can rewatch the recording to understand on the missed or the remaining part. So perfect. So if you don't have any questions, then thank you so much. And yeah, enjoy your rest of the day and happy snipping.